Let's go, girl.
Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe.
Yo, let's go. It's Women Talking Football, or WTF for short. Of course, never to be confused with WFT. We are the women, a pair of producers, I guess a trio of producers now running the ship for our wonderful Women Talking Football show here every Wednesday at noon. My name is Mallory Hartley. I'm the associate producer here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and sitting to my left.
Directions are hard.
I'm just going to make that a bet every single time now. Sitting to my left, it's the executive producer of this place, Miss Ashley Pickle.
Howdy.
Hey. Oh my God, you have so much energy.
I drank a lot of coffee this morning.
And I'm trying to catch up to you right now.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. You've got so much energy.
Well, yeah, we're talking about Follette today. I'm amped.
That other laugh you hear, controlling the dials, making us sound good. It's Miss V&A Moreno. Hey, girl.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
Good. How are y'all?
It's week 6 of the season.
Oh, I can hear myself.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, where am I coming
I heard
from?
you. I heard
Sorry,
the
I was-
hello. It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That was. I have y'all on my computer. And,
Oh,
y'all
okay,
heard
that's
it,
what
yeah.
it was. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, happy week 6 of the Texas high school football season. This is episode 77 of Women Talking Football, and we've got kind of a beefy show today.
Big beefy show.
Which makes complete sense because we are sponsored by the Texas Beef Council.
This is correct.
Which is a plug.
Yes.
A plug.
Shout out
Big
Texas Beef Council.
beefy.
Big beefy show.
Big beefy
Big
show.
beefy.
We'll start off by revealing our Texas Football Tonight Week 6 spotlight games. And if you guys don't know, Week 6 is a big week for bye week. It's a big bye week.
Yeah,
I should say.
it's the largest bye week of the season.
Largest bye week of the season, but we still managed to put together a pretty good slate of spotlight games for
There's
this
a lot
week.
of big name brands.
A lot of big
playing.
name brands.
The depth not there, but
No.
the games that are really good are really good.
So super excited to unveil those here in a second. In the back half of the show, we're combining two regions that are not close together at all.
We love geography.
Like 500 miles apart.
Like I said, directions are hard.
We're going to be talking about the Wichita Falls region, and then we're going to go west and then up north to the Panhandle, and we're going to give you a full breakdown of both of the Wichita Falls and Panhandle region. And to do so, we're going to have on a very special guest. A
Yes.
DCTF staff member who is not Greg Tepper, Matt Stepp, or Carter Yates.
They're not allowed.
They're not allowed on this show.
Everybody, we should have every other man on. We can even.
They're
I guarantee
punching
you.
the air right now.
I guarantee you,
Cursing.
we could even get Will Wilkerson, our digital
Oh, I'd love to
Oh,
have
yeah.
him
director,
on.
on, and he hates being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But he would do it for us
Yep.
if it meant
Yep.
spiting the others.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have our DCTF non-FBS college insider, Corey Hogue, on today to talk about the Wichita Falls region because he lives up in that area, and he's always going out to those high school football games up there near him. So he's got a plethora of knowledge on the Wichita Falls region. So who else? We don't want to have anybody else on but Corey.
No, correct.
Right? So, all right, before we get into all that madness, I'm going to throw it over to you, Miss Texas Football Tonight analyst, as we unveil the Week 6 Texas Football Tonight Spotlight games.
Yes, we are back. Like we said, this one, the depth of this week, not necessarily there, but the high-end talent of some of these games is definitely there. We start off Thursday night, 2 different games. Katy Maid Creek and Katy Tompkins. We'll definitely be talking about that one potentially, but the one that we will for sure be focusing on is District 16 6A matchup, likely for the district championship between Maximum Bears of Bridgeland
Maximum Bears!
and yes, correct, and
Connor Wigman's hometown.
undefeated Cypress Springs. Haven't said that in a
No.
wait. Yes, I said that correctly. They have not lost a game. That is my point.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was gonna say, I think Tommy Arsh is on the call for this one, right?
Oh, that rocks. That wouldn't surprise me if he was.
Nope, it's not. It's Mr. Trevor Bullard himself. Will be on the call for this one.
Yeah, T-Pup called
That doesn't
ISO
make any
on
sense.
that one.
That doesn't make any sense. Tommy went to Bridgeland.
This is true.
And that's a big game for him. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
very interested to see how this one shapes out. The funny thing about Bridgeland, they're still running a 2-quarterback system. So they've got Jet Lewis and Tyler Beagle out there. According to was heard from Step, it sounds like they each get 2 series in the first half, and then they just kind of decide from there. But it's working. I mean,
That's crazy because especially at the college level, that doesn't typically work.
Yeah. So interested to see that. The big test here is going to be Cy Springs has a lot of speed and talent at the skill spots. So is Bridgeland able to stop that? I think that Bridgeland is very big in the trenches. They're really good at that. I think this will be one of the best defenses that Cy Springs has gone up against. But very interested in that one. 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night from Cypher FCU Stadium. Trevor Bullard on the call. So some Thursday night action, but moving on into Friday. And here is where we just are going to start off with the strongest game of the week, the best game of the week. It is, of course, 23-6A, the District of Doom down in the greater Houston area, Humble-Atascocita taking on Humble Summer Creek. So this one at Turner Stadium, 7 o'clock. Michael Silver's on the call. Should be an incredible matchup there. This is box office stuff. This is why you tune in. This is a sold-out crowd there at Turner Stadium, but we have it on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, so we're excited to spotlight that one. But this is an Atascocita team that has probably one of the toughest non-district slates. They have had the toughest schedule so far.
Not only do they have a tough non-district slate, they have a tough district slate too to go through. Like I would love to see which. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on a rant now. I would love to see which high school, and I'm sure we've got database of or like a tracker of this. Which team? I guess you can do it for all divisions and classifications. Has the toughest schedule?
That was the fun fact of the week on Tep and Step. Do you remember who it was? V. It was an odd. What was
Which one?
The Texas high school football fun fact on Tep and Step was the team with the toughest schedule. Matt Stepp's in the comments. He's probably screaming at me. Anyway, yes, we can find that out.
At me. I can't remember.
Atascocita's got to be up there.
It's definitely up there. That being said, your eyes are going to go to Atascocita's offense versus Summer Creek defense. This is a Summer Creek defense that has not allowed a single point
this year.
A single point. Now, I don't think that they've gone up against a team that has as electrifying of an offense as Atascocita with Carde Mack. Tori Blaylock just decided to pop off for 6 touchdowns last week. And they weren't little bitty like, oh, hand it to the running back and let him punch it in for 2 yards. These were
70-yard.
The highlights were I read the highlights on as they played on Thursday night last week, but I read the highlights on Texas football tonight and was like, well, we're just going to sit here and watch Tori Blaylock run for 4 minutes because that's what he did. So this one is box office stuff. It's going to be exciting. I think that if you're Summer Creek, you want to keep the ball out of the hands of those guys. You have to. But it'll be interesting to see. All right, moving on to the next one. It is a battle in the DFW. This one likely for another district championship. We go to District 3 5A Division 1 as the number 1 ranked Denton Ryan Raiders take on the second ranked Aledo Bearcats. 1 versus 2 district game, a 122 game district winning streak on the line at Aledo.
It's weird not seeing Aledo as number 1.
I'm not going to lie, when I was looking at my sheet here, I thought that was a typo. And then I remembered, oh no, they
lost to
dropped
Denton Guyer. Yeah, earlier in the year.
Which again, that
Very
one is a
game.
6A team.
Yeah.
They were on the road. They played them incredible.
Yes.
But I think that this one is an interesting quarterback matchup. I think that Ryan Beard from Aledo has really grown up since what we've seen in that Denton Guyer game. He seems to kind of has his feeding under him. Obviously, he's got Racing Guillory out on the edge, which is a versatile weapon.
Caden Finley, too, at wide receiver.
Yep, Caden Finley. So Aledo is just fine on the offensive side of the ball, and their defense has shaped up to be pretty good, too. the Ryan quarterback whose name is escaping me. Quinn Hennigan. There is another Hennigan.
Oh, right.
Interested to see what he ends up doing, but this is a team. These are two teams coming off of huge wins last week, just teams that they were way better than. This will be the true test. What I think will decide that District 3 title, and of course, the Alito district streak that we keep talking about. Tepper threw it out there, but 6,209 days since they lost.
What was it? 3 presidential elections?
Yeah, George Bush was in office.
George Bush. George Bush.
That's actually insane.
That's a crazy.
So yeah, I think both teams are really good up front. It's going to come down to which defense can get a stop in the latter half of the game. So excited for that one. Moving on now to another DFW matchup. This one in District 4 of 5A Division 2. The Melissa Cardinals traveling over to take on the Leopards of Lovejoy over there in Lucas. This one's a 7:30 kick. Melissa's defense going up against a Lovejoy offense that seems to have found its footing after last week. They just absolutely... Who did they play? They destroyed someone last week.
Anna? Not Melissa or Lovejoy.
Oh, Lovejoy. Okay, so they didn't destroy Anna, but it was a 66-62 win for Lovejoy last week. And so that was an offense that they destroyed Frisco Liberty. That's what it was.
Because Anna and Melissa played last week. It was our spotlight game.
Correct. So they dropped the first one to Lubbock Cooper. Everybody's eyes start to turn. Then they drop one at Highland Park, and it's like, okay, that's a team that we expected to be a pretty close game. We didn't know exactly what the Scots looked like this year. I assumed it was pretty good. Definitely found their footing against Frisco Liberty, and then in the offense is just humming last week in a thriller against Anna. Their quarterback, Janik, is off to 962 yards, 16 touchdowns rushing. He's really dual threat. He's actually leading Lovejoy right now with 67 yards of rushing per game.
Wow.
So interested to see how that pairs up against a Melissa defense that has looked really good. So they were the story all night last week. They forced turnovers on Anna's final 3 possessions of the game, which is what got them back into that game. So the Melissa defense and those big nasties up front going up against a Lovejoy squad that wants to get you out to the edge and wants to air it out will be very interesting.
This will be a big test for Melissa because I'm looking at their schedule, and they lost the first one against an Arkansas team. And then they've played 3 Frisco schools that are just not very good, and they haven't been historically. And then an Anna team that they're a good team, but they moved up from 4A Division 1 last year. So I think this is going to be a very, very good test for Melissa. I'll be interested to see how this turns out.
Moving on now to a cross-regional matchup in District 10 6A. The Rockwall Yellow Jackets taking on the Longview Lobos out there in Lobo Stadium. This is one that you've got to think will be potentially for a district championship. I mean, Forney might have something to say about that, although they look a little bit down from last year. Rockwall Heath, of course, always has a conversation under the direction of Rodney Webb, but I don't know what to make of Longview.
I know.
I still, to this point, don't know what to make of Longview. I think that loss to South Oak Cliff was a bad one. You're going up against a South Oak Cliff squad that had been put through the mud week after week. They're going up against incredibly talented competition. They go to Lobo Stadium and end up pulling out a squeaker. You cannot let those games fall.
And they won the first game against Lufkin, which I think Lufkin's a pretty good team, 7-3. But also, you have to remember, this is a team that is moving up from Class 5A, and now they're playing in a much tougher district. So, yeah, I guess it's a good point. You don't really know what to make of Longview. And this is a tough district schedule. I mean, Rockwall, Forney's looking really good. Tyler Legacy with a great win over Rockwall Heath last week. Even North Forney's really good. Like, this will be their first real test, I think, of this season.
And the other thing is, too, Rockwall's quarterback, Landon
besides
Locke,
Cliff,
obviously out for the season with his, I believe it's a knee injury. So what does Rockwall's offense look like? They're high-flying, they're high-scoring, but can they still do that without a Locke at the helm? That'll be interesting. So if you're Longview, you want to get into that defensive battle and kind of keep it out of the explosive potential that Rockwall has. If you're Longview, you also have to find a way to score. They have got to find a way to score against a Rockwall program that traditionally doesn't play a whole lot of defense. So that one should be exciting to see there. Moving on.
I bet this is pretty high scoring, if I had to take a bet.
I just don't know if Longview...
They can put up points.
Yeah.
They just can't. I feel like both of these teams are going to put up points. It's just going to be who's going to get the last stop.
Yeah, I don't think much defense.
Yeah.
All right. Now a big one in the 6A realm. We go from District 10 over to District 5. The number 10 ranked Coppell Cowboys taking on the 20th ranked Denton Geyer Wildcats. And here is another one that the quarterback matchup is fascinating. Coppell's quarterback, Edward Griffin III, EG3, I believe, as he's been deemed now by his favorite fan, Greg Tepper.
You can hear him already.
Yeah, he's somewhere. He's shouting,
Coppell fight never die.
Exactly.
He said in the pigs.
Of course he did.
He threw for 305 yards and 5 touchdowns last week to beat Hebron. And then on the other side of that, when you look at Geyer's quarterback, Kevin Sperry, OU commit, coming in from Oklahoma, he has, I can't figure out what to make of him either. There are times where he looks really, really good. I think last week against Flower Mound, he looked great. There are times where we've seen him and he hasn't looked.
Just looks shaky.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just miscommunication, if he's still trying to form that bond with his receivers. But I think all eyes are going to the quarterbacks in this one. Very, very excited to see how this one turns out. What Antonio Wiley has done with that Coppell squad is just super impressive. And that district as a whole, we were talking about it on Texas Football Tonight the other night. That is one that it's almost anybody's game. You've got Flower Mound Marcus, Denton Geyer, Coppell, all of them with one loss on the season at max. So this one very well, if Coppell could pull this one off, I think they're the heavy favorites to win that district.
Right.
If Geyer pulls it off, then I feel like the district opens up and you're looking at a lot of tie potentials.
That'd make it fun.
So excited about that one. All right, staying in the 6A realm, again, a lot of the smaller schools off this week. We rounded all out with a District 15 6A matchup. Klein Kane taking on Magnolia. James Tritley and Trevor Bullard on the call from Bulldog Stadium down there. This one is likely for the district championships, you would think. Let's see. What is Magnolia? Well, hang on. I lost my train of thought there. Magnolia is 3-1 on the season. Klein Kane at 4-1. Klein Kane we've seen a lot of this year, and they look to be that team to beat. So if Magnolia is going to try and sneak one, this is going to be the week to do that. So excited about that one. So there you go. Our Week 6 spotlight games for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We will, of course, be live on air. It'll be myself, Greg Tepper, and Ishmael Johnson on at 7:30. You can watch for free on Texan Live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching the show right now. We will see you on Friday night.
For free. Don't have to pay for it. Before we get to chatting with our friend Corey Hogue, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time.
And guess what? As dehydration gets worse, performance typically declines. That means it's up to you as an athlete to keep your hydration in check. So here are 5 hydration tips to help you stay at the top of your game. First, carry a water bottle with you throughout the day to ensure that you're drinking enough fluid throughout school and all your extracurricular activities. Remember, water is always a great hydrator, but there are other beverages like sports drinks, milk, and even smoothies that count towards your total hydration goal. And there are hydrating foods. Fruits, vegetables, soups, and 100% fruit bars can help you stay hydrated as well. Second, start your workout hydrated. You want to consume at least 16 to 20 ounces of fluid with your pre-workout meal, and then continue sipping on fluids, water, or sports drink until you start your practice, workout, or game. One of the best ways to tell if you're hydrated is to look at the color of your urine. The goal is for it to be pale yellow to clear in color. If it's darker than that, be sure to keep on hydrating. Third, it's important to hydrate throughout your workout. Try to consume 5 to 10 ounces of fluid every 20 minutes during practice. And if you struggle with muscle cramps, add extra electrolytes to your fuel and hydration plan by drinking a sports drink and consuming salty foods. Fourth, post-workout, you need to rehydrate. The goal is to consume 16 ounces of fluid for every pound lost in sweat. But if you don't know how much fluid you lose at practice, start by drinking 16 ounces of fluid and then use your urine color as a guide. If it's dark, keep hydrating until it reaches that pale yellow color. And remember, after a workout, you can drink milk, chocolate milk, and smoothies to help you rehydrate, as well as give your body the carbohydrate and protein it needs to recover. Finally, if you start to experience any signs of dehydration, stop exercising, cool off, drink some fluids, and talk to your athletic trainers. They can help you determine when it's safe for you to go back to practice or a game. And remember, proper hydration is essential for optimal performance. So be sure and drink up.
Thank you to our sponsors. We love you all very, very much. Okay, V&A. Let's go to the hotline. And let's bring in one of our dear friends, DCTF non-FBS college insider, Corey Hogue. Hey, Corey, how you doing?
I am so honored to be on this show, especially to be on here before such great men like Pepper and Step. And, you know, it's incredible.
Okay, well, you're going to get booted off real quick if you keep calling them great men, okay? We've got no tolerance for a Tepper, Stepper, Carter
I was going to say
on this show.
I was going to say there are quite a few men jealous of you in the office right now, so you are in a great position, my friend.
We, in fact, got a very, very angry face by Carter Yates in the chat. So.
Oh, good. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, Corey. For those of our listeners and viewers that don't know much about you, kind of give us your elevator pitch and how you got to DCTF and why you covered on FBS college football.
Well, I am a veteran from the U.S. Army for about 11 and a half years, and eventually I got lucky and just kind of connected with Max Thompson and Tepper, and really became friends. And then I got lucky because one night they were trying to get scores integrated on the website, and I told Max, I said, man, if you need help, I'm willing to help. And he gave me a call, and I just pitched. I said, you don't cover the small colleges. And he said, work something up. If we like it, we'll get you going. And my goodness, here we are about 7 years later, and I actually turned this into a full-time job.
Which is awesome. And I can tell you that nobody does it better in the state of Texas than you, sir. I can tell you that for sure. But you live up in the Wichita Falls region, which is why we wanted to bring you on today to talk about Wichita Falls high school football, because you're always out at games and stuff. So if you remember back to last season, Hershey, Ryder, and Wichita Falls High School were 3 separate. They decided to take all those down and combine them into Wichita Falls Legacy and Wichita Falls Memorial. So what's kind of been that biggest takeaway that you've seen from that move since it happened?
First off, enrollment has just increased so much because the kids are loving the new facilities. Nice. Just so happy that the people of Wichita Falls finally put the money into the education for the kids. And on the field, I wasn't sure. Coming into the season, I was told that Legacy might be better than Memorial right now, but Legacy's been injured, so many injuries. They've been just devastated. I think they were on their third quarterback last week at Adelaide Wiley. And not that Memorial's been without it. They had to rework their entire defensive line last week, but they seem to have more depth. And, it's fun because now Ryder and Old High didn't have a homecoming. So many kids in Wichita Falls never actually had a homecoming. Memorial had theirs a couple weeks ago. Legacy has theirs this week against Lubbock Cooper. And it's really fun to see these kids get to experience this.
Corey, we've got now 5 weeks of the Texas high school football season under our belts. Has anything from your neck of the woods necessarily surprised you at all so far?
I think the Electra Tigers might be one of the biggest surprises. The schedule may not be that tough, but this is a team that's really put themselves into that conversation for the playoffs this year. I think Graham, we thought they would be really good. They are. They had a little slip up early, but Rylan Monty was hurt that game. They seem to have really galvanized. That defense is playing phenomenal right now. Of course, Holiday, Jacksboro, City View, those three in that district, my goodness, watch out. That is going to be so brutal and so much fun from the outside to watch. And then, even down in the 6-man ranks, Knox City thought they lost a lot. They've come out and looked really good again this year as well.
Corey, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and you already mentioned Graham. You said that they look really, really strong this year, of course, ranked in the DCTF AP poll. Which of those teams that maybe you mentioned or maybe not think that they could go the distance this year and make it to AT&T Stadium?
I think the one right now would be Graham. That is the one, and it's kind of funny because every week I'm part of a crew that ranks 1 through 10 our power poll for Wichita Falls area for the Times Record News, and they have been consistently our number one here the last few weeks. But it's not a clear number one this year like it has been in past years.
And finally, Corey, before we let you go here, we always love to ask about maybe a player that is underrated or a specific talent that you think that someone has. Are there anybody that maybe aren't on the recruiting track right now, but you think people should really start paying attention to?
I will give you the one that I know. There's a couple, and Wichita Falls has got a ton of talent right now in the surrounding area too. But at Wichita Falls Memorial, they've got Kenji Johnson. He's a running back. Jonathan Hull calls him the little train. He does, and that's so apropos for him. He can just run over people. He's got speed. He's fun to watch. And another one to watch out for, and this guy is an FBS level quarterback, and he's a junior this year, and that's Joe Castles. So I was about to say Josh. That's his dad who played at Archer City. But Joe Castles, he has got the footwork. He's got the height. He's got the measurables. He's got the arm strength. And he's got just an intuition that he's built from 3 years of starting. And to think that he has another year just puts that guy as being scary good at quarterback.
He is Corey Hogue, DCTF non-FBS college insider. You can check out all of his fine work at texasfootball.com/ not recruiting, college. I'm used to being with Powers.
That's fair.
Corey,
let's give a shout out to Alicia real quick, because I bet she's listening.
Of course.
Now she will be. And we know that she is by far the reason why I'm able to come on this show.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Well, I can't say if you have a cool wife, you get to come on, because I do like the wives of the other men that are not allowed to come on, but Alicia's definitely up there.
She's also a Rutgers fan, so that's why I allowed Corey to come on.
Also,
fair. Corey, I don't know if you listened to ROF yesterday, but we have now started saying rank Rutgers, you cowards, instead of go Rutgers.
Oh, there we go.
Big matchup against Nebraska this week, so if they beat Nebraska and we don't see them in the next AP poll, I'm rioting.
That's fair.
I'm rioting.
She actually texted me that you guys said that. I thought it was great. That is so awesome. And she's so talented. Like Blanket said, she made stuff. I mean, that woman is she is definitely much better person than I will ever measure up to be.
Yeah, she made us custom blankets, Ashley and I, and it had the WTF logo as well as the Texas Football Tonight logo on there, and they are sick. I use it almost every day. I absolutely love it. Well, Corey, thanks for taking the time to talk Wichita Falls football with us, and we'll let you get back to whatever we took you away from. I know conference realignment is crazy right now, so thanks so much, and hope to talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You guys have a great one.
There he goes, Corey Hogue, DCTF non-FBS college insider. Seriously, one of the smartest people I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, and here's the thing. It is really impressive what Carter and Craven do for the FBS teams in the state of Texas. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge to know. There's 3 times as many small college
and
teams.
The resources aren't there, too.
And the resources aren't there.
You walk into to DKR and there's a whole information packet on the Texas Longhorns of everything that you can possibly, and I'm not saying that it's easy by any
not
stretch.
At all.
They foster such good relationships with those coaches.
Yes.
That's the difficult part. But just from Corey's perspective of trying to maintain all that knowledge about all of those programs when the resources are so finite, like that's difficult. It's hard to just get information at that point.
Right. And he's so good at making relationships too. I think our staff does just such a great job of that, of making relationships and keeping those relationships in order to get, those sources and that information and stuff. So really appreciate Corey for hopping on with us. I know it's a busy time of year for him with all this crazy conference realignment news and Tarleton and what are they going to do next? And, it's kind of craziness right now, but appreciate him taking some time with us.
A dude who rocks.
So there you go. There's your Wichita Falls regional breakdown with Corey. But now we're going to move on and give you our breakdown, I guess, as you of the Panhandle region.
Real fast, I don't know if you realized it, but the graphic said Wichita like a witch because it's spooky season.
I didn't look at the graphic.
Oh, well, we're all about spooky season, and
that's really clever.
And Ish
honestly, I would have spelled it that way anyways because I can't spell. So that's probably why.
Well, anyway, welcome to spooky season.
Yeah, happy spooky season. It's October 2nd.
Yeah. Anyway, now
it's October
Panhandle.
3rd. You know what that's from?
Mean Girls.
He asked me what day
October
it was. Tomorrow's October 3rd.
It's October 3rd.
Please make that joke on TFT tomorrow. I don't know if
yeah.
we'll get it, but please make that joke. Okay. Let's move on. There's quite a few ranked teams in the Panhandle region. I think 8 or 9 to be specific. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. You want to start us off?
Yeah, we'll start off with 4A Division 1. It is the 8th ranked Canyon Randall Raiders. So they have a bye this week, but they're undefeated. 5-0 on the season.
A lot of undefeated teams in the rankings here.
Yeah, their next one it's a big one. It's at Dumas, so that'll be the first district game that they're playing. And then honestly, that one's good. I'm super, super excited to see Randall play Hereford in 2 weeks. Hereford very quietly is just mauling people this year.
Yeah.
And so very, very excited. Keep that on your calendar. 2 weeks from now, Hereford and Canyon Randall. They got to get through Dumas first, but interested to see that one. Their quarterback, Kaysen Bitton, has really found a way to pass the ball around to multiple weapons, but their senior running back, Dylan Ray, he's really been what has been proven to be like the offensive power there for Randall. So excited to see what they do, but that game against Hereford will be a good one.
Yeah, I think so too. Moving on down to 3A Division 1. It's the number 3, I almost said 3rd ranked Bushland Falcons. I always make that mistake.
Yeah.
3rd ranked. 3 ranked. It's number 3 Bushland Falcons. We'll say that. Impressive 5-0 start to the season for the Falcons with a big win over Canadian. I know you're going to talk about Canadian. Canadian is not what they have been in the past, but still a very, very impressive win to get to 5-0 already this season. Big win over Dumas last week, 48-42, which is, I mean, Dumas isn't ranked, but they are typically one of those teams that gives a team like this some trouble. You know, they kind of come out of the woodworks here, and a team that could be considered a dark horse. But what's been super impressive to me about Bushland is who has stepped up at quarterback. Quarterback Ferris, I believe is his name.
I know
I don't have his Quade Ferris.
Jake.
I couldn't remember his first name. Quade Ferris has stepped up to replace, like you just said, Dawson Jacko, I believe is how you say that, who graduated last season. 1,269 total yards and 17 touchdowns. Ty Purcell has been kind of the difference maker, though, for this team, playing both ways. So making a huge impact on both sides of the ball for this team.
I was talking to our buddy Steven Lyles, who calls all of the Bushland games, and he sent me a couple of different clips of Ty Purcell. If you are not focusing on him, you should. He is fun to watch, and he's been the difference on both sides of the ball. But he specifically sent me one where he ran the full length of the field horizontally, came all the way back around, broke about 3 tackles to get in there. But he was like, Steven put him in with conversations of like, I don't want to mess up his words here. He said he reminds him a lot of like Adam Hill at Albany, Grayson Rigdon, Cannon Valenzuela at
Just
Jacksboro.
those football dudes.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, we classify those as dudes who rock. He was like, he really thinks that he could go play D1 somewhere. And he was like, but you set him on a 3A field and he's
the best player on that team. Right.
So yeah, if you're not keeping an eye on Ty Purcell, definitely watch him. But appreciate our buddy Steven Lyles kind of hitting me up with the Bushland scouting report. We've followed them some on Texas Football Tonight, but I was like, they're always good.
Yeah.
This team is different. What's different about this team?
Right. Well, and here's the last point that I'll make on Bushland here is that could they make it to AT&T Stadium this year? Because look at Region 1, right? Brock is not in Region 1 anymore. Obviously, they moved up. Paradise, not nearly as good as they have been in the past.
Yeah.
Canadian, not nearly as good as they have been in the past. This could be, and of course, they're going to run into probably what it looks like as of right
D2.
now to Malakoff.
Canadians D2.
No, I said Region 1.
Yes, but they're 3A Division 2.
Oh.
Bushland is 3A Division 1.
Yes, I meant, what did I mean to say? Not Canadian. It was
I love the
because I have the bracket pulled up right here. I have the bracket pulled up right here. Maybe it was Whitesboro that I meant to say.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, because Whitesboro is typically pretty good at coming out of Region 1 too. But it's really been Brock and Paradise, and I guess you can throw Clyde in there as well. But without Brock being there, Paradise not looking as strong, Whitesboro really not looking as strong either. Obviously, they'd probably face Malakoff coming out of Region 2 to make it to AT&T Stadium. But at that point,
Shallow Water in their own district, and that's the fun thing is that we'll get
Shallow Water too.
We'll get that answer early, but it wouldn't surprise me if Shallow Water and Bushland ended up meeting back up at some point.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, I got Canadian because they've already played Canadian.
Yes.
But anyways, yes. It'll be interesting to see if they look like the strongest coming out of Region 1 in my opinion right now, but
no, I agree.
Many things can change.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. All right, moving on to 3A Division 2, the aforementioned Canadian Wildcats.
There they are.
Yep. Found them. 3-2 on the year. Lost to Bushland, 42-21.
They've had a tough non-district
Oh,
schedule.
yeah. Of course, that's, like we said, punching up a classification. And then here was the loss that was like, ooh, you can't lose that one. And if you look at the graphic, it's the team below that we'll talk about next, Sunray. So Canadian can score. There is no doubt that they can score. Here's the issue. They're giving up 38 points per game on an average. It's actually 38.8. So, I mean, you're north of about giving up 40 points a game.
And when you're playing a team like Sunray, that all they like to do is put up points,
and it's
trouble.
Like Canadian has always been a team that can outscore you. They are okay getting into those all-out offensive shootouts because they can outscore you. Little bit concerning. Last week, Sunray picked them off 6 times. They threw 6 interceptions. Their senior quarterback threw 3.
Canadians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got benched. They brought in a true freshman.
That's right.
Well, every freshman is a true freshman in high school.
I know, I get that, yeah.
But they brought in a freshman who then threw 3 picks. Oof. You can't do that.
They're missing Cameron Cavalier, who was their quarterback last year.
Yes.
Their long-time starting quarterback last year, who was one of the leading passers in the state. Definitely like in talks with Mr. Texas football last year. They're missing him. Yeah, they're missing him a lot.
So that's my concern with Canadian. They've always been a team that can outscore you.
Yeah,
not concerned there, but the turnovers have got to stop.
Yeah.
You cannot allow 6 interceptions in one game.
No, not at all. Kind of just mentioned him moving down to 2A Division 1. It's number 4 Sunray, also off to a very impressive 5-0 start this season with wins over Canadian, like we just mentioned, and Stratford. Stratford, excuse me. But this is a team too that has improved a lot every single year. That aforementioned Armando Lawn, quarterback,
he's on
taken
track to
over.
break the record.
Oh yeah,
He's
and
very much
he's
on
on my
track.
spoiler. He's one of my players to watch,
Yeah.
so I will definitely talk more about him later. But dude has a plethora of weapons around him on the outside. Dawson Bennett, Keegan Davis, and Ty McDowell. That is a scary, scary offense when you're talking about Sunray. But also the defense has looked really good this year too, which is not typically what you think about for a team that's so high flying and so points crazy as Sunray. But the defense really hasn't looked that bad this year either, holding their last 4 opponents to 20 points or less with 1 shutout in there. This is a team that looks like they are firing on all cylinders, and they've got their sights set on AT&T Stadium, I think.
Yeah, I think
in
they're the
December.
team to beat out there.
I
don't
really do
think
too.
That was a really, really good win against Canadian. And we went in, and no coach likes the moral loss thing, but we went into that game saying, hey man, if you're only down by if it's a 2-score game and Sunray's able to hang in with Canadian, okay, great. And then we're watching it and we're like, oh my God. And yeah, we talk so much about Armando Luan, but they have a lot of weapons. That wide receiver core is better this year than it was last year.
That's going to be one of the strongest in small school
Oh,
ball.
yeah, by far.
Strongest receiving cores, I think.
But yeah, Sunray is looking like a team to beat in 2A Division 1.
I think so too.
Which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Moving on now to 2A Division 2 with 2 teams here. The second-ranked Stratford Elks and then number 10 Groover. So Stratford 2 losses on the season, one of which being an overtime loss to an undefeated Panhandle team, which is a division higher than them in 2A Division 1. And then their second loss coming from Sunray. I love the Panhandle because all of these really good teams play each other. And so there's so much data that you can dive into because all of these teams have all played each other.
Right.
But that was a 31-14 loss. Again, a classification or a division higher than them in 2A Division 1. Their senior quarterback, Bryce Braden, is he on your players to watch graphics?
He's not, but
Okay,
I
good.
thought about
because
it.
let me learn you a little bit of something about this. So again, I love small school ball because this guy is the quarterback who has thrown for 473 yards and 1 touchdown passing. He's run for 330 yards and 8 touchdowns rushing. He has 1 reception for 25 yards, just for fun. He is also the leading tackler on the team.
Which is great, but he's an even better defensive player.
He has 60 total tackles on the year. Last year, he had 184 tackles, okay?
Yeah,
He's
dude's
got
nuts.
He leads in 15 tackles per game. He's leading the team. He has 5 sacks on the season.
Yeah,
This dude rocks.
Am I getting him mixed up? Is he Air Force commit?
I do not know.
I think he's.
That would not surprise me. That feels exactly right. That feels like a good placement. Yes? Yep. Air Force. All right. So anyway, Stratford is cruising.
Yeah.
They're doing Stratford things. Groover, on the other side of that, off to a 5-0 start. And let me tell you, if you like points, we've got points.
You like points? We got points.
We've got
points to go around.
They're averaging 53.8 points per game on the offensive side of the ball through 5 games. I mean, they can score. That's a very nice 269 points on the year.
Nice.
Okay? They're only giving up an average of 18 points a game. So, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And here is the fun thing. October 11th, Stratford versus Groover in a district matchup. Slaps.
Love that.
Certified banger.
You know what? This has
Points. That's so many points.
This has nothing to do with Groover football, but it has something to do with Groover.
Here with a fun fact about Groover.
When I went to the state championships in basketball a couple year ago, 2 years ago, with Schmale, Bailey Maupin.
I need someone to cut that look. She said Schmale, and then she goes, ugh.
We got to watch Bailey Maupin, who I now believe is at Texas Tech, play for Groover, and I think won him a state championship. Is awesome. But that's what I have not seen Groover football play in person, but I have seen Groover women's basketball play in person, and Bailey Mop and Rocks.
And that was Mallory Hartley with your today's Groover fun fact of the week.
Plays for Texas Tech now. All right. Should I round it all out? Or do you want to? Because you have really been...
Let me tell you,
You've really
we now
been high
go
on
over to Mallory Hartley. Well, talk about the first team, and then we go over to our Follett insider, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Congratulations, you've been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees, and you are our Follett insider, Mallory Hartley, with your 1A Division II update.
Number 7, it's Miami, not Miami, Miami. And the...
Is that really how you say it?
Yeah, Miami.
Miami. Oh.
Yeah, it's like Italy. It's
Yeah.
not Italy. It's Italy.
Yeah, we were filling out the taking you behind the scenes, but in Texas football tonight, we were filling out the ticker. If you don't know what the ticker is, it's like the running thing that you see on the bottom of a sports show that has like updates and stats and all that stuff. It's called a ticker. We were updating that, and Blaine, our director, goes, okay, number 7, Miami. And I was like, you did the thing. He also did Refugio. Refugio. And I said, he goes, how do you say it?
I can't say Refugio
and he was
anyways,
like, no.
so.
Yeah.
I literally just can't say it. I don't know what it is with me, but I just can't. But it's the number 7 Miami Warriors, I believe. Yes, Warriors, and the number 8 Follett Panthers. I'm, I guess, now deemed as the Follett insider. So
Big Follett girl.
Big Follett girl.
They were going crazy today over this.
Yeah.
I was hyped up to talk about Follett.
Yes.
They're
then
back
why'd you
in the
give them to me?
And Tepper, too.
Because I wanted you to be equally as excited to talk about Follett.
I am excited to talk about these teams. That's why I have this job. Okay, but going back to what you said about just the Panhandle teams in general, you have a lot of data on them, right? So they all play each other. That is like all of Class 1A.
Yes.
They all play each other. Like the top ranked teams all play each other. And I guess it's probably because typically district play isn't as strong. So the top teams want to get good practice. They want to get a good groove on before they hit district play. So when it comes to playoff time, they're more prepared. But all of these teams kind of play each other.
The lower that you get down in the classification, the more disparity that there is between the elite teams and the field.
Yes.
And that's just, and especially too, when you start talking about that part of Texas, you're doing a lot of driving, you know where you're going anyway, so you might as well make the extra couple of miles and go play the teams that are going to give you that tougher competition.
Correct. Miami coming off one of their best seasons in school history, and then they're off to a hot start with a 4-1 start to this season. They had a pretty good win over McLean last week, and then they have pretty much whomped every other opponent except Booker. They lost to Booker at the beginning of the season, which is a pretty good team.
Yeah, Booker, it was a 2A Division II team that is now in their first year back in 6-man ball. So that was a good win.
Right. For Booker, well, they lost to Booker, but kept. It was 59-42, so a very close game if we're talking about 6-man ball here. And then, of course, number 8 Follett. They spent the last 2 years in Division 1.
Go Panthers.
But moved back down to Division 2, which they have found success in the past in 1A Division 2. And this is a team that is definitely better than their record indicates, because this is also a team that is in towards the top of the rankings. But they play all of these other really tough teams that are also in the top ranked 1A Division 2 class and 1A Division 1 too. So they've been kind of falling out of the rankings, and the next week they'll have a big win, so they get back into the rankings. So it's kind of a team that fluctuates. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. But they
have no
have
idea the effect this has on me.
Correct. But really good wins over Whiteface, Benjamin, and then the aforementioned Booker. They face Gordon this week, which is the number 1 team in 1A Division 1, and that is a team that is absolutely firing at all cylinders. So
Panthers going to shock the world.
Yes, they will.
Going to show Rye Reed.
Good luck, Gordon. Good luck, Rye Reed and Gordon. And also, I didn't know this, but Greg Powers, thanks to Greg Powers, Chris Gaspar, the head coach at Follett, was the Class 1A Coach of the Week this week.
Yeah.
So
all about the Panthers.
That rocks, because they beat Booker. So really, really good for the number 8 Follett Panthers. And that'll do it. Do you have anything else to say about
Go Follett?
Go Follett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. So those are the 9 ranked teams in the Panhandle region. A lot of good teams out there. Like you said, they all kind of play each other, so it just makes it even that much more fun to watch week in and week out. But not only are there a lot of good teams, there are also a lot of great players.
Let's go
in the Panhandle region. I only picked 4 this week. I hope that doesn't make me look like a slacker.
No, it's fine because you did a good job talking about fall ed, so my heart is happy. I'm content. We could end the show right now, to be honest with you. All due respect to these wonderful players that we're about to
do
talk.
it for us, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Okay, 4 players to watch here in the Panhandle region. Starting off with Amarillo Tascosa 2025 athlete TJ Tillman. This kid is firing on all cylinders right now on both sides of the ball. And he's doing this in a 5A program, right? Which is that is a very common thing to do to if you're just an athlete, you're probably going to play on both sides of the ball, like Grayson Rigdon, right? At Benjamin, but now at a 3A program. This kid's doing it at a 5A program, which is 5A Division 1, rather, which is very, very impressive. 254 all-purpose yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 106-yard kick return touchdown, 6 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 6 pass breakups this season.
Sure.
Yeah. Light work, right? The thing that sticks out to me about this kid is obviously his versatility when it comes to which position he's playing on the field, but it's also just his plain intuition when it comes to the field and his instincts as well. He's got great ball skills to go along with his speed and his agility, and just a really, really fun player to watch that dominates both sides of the ball. He was committed to Texas Tech for a bit, but decommitted back in June, so his recruitment is now open. He holds offers from Georgia Tech, Houston, UTSA, and a couple more, but I think he's going to play wide receiver at the next level.
That's awesome.
He's not going to play both. Not a Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He's going to play wide receiver. Moving right along to, I'm going to butcher his last name.
Oh, goodness. I'm not looking at the graphic.
Canyon Randall, 2025 offensive lineman, also plays defensive line. Braden Massengale.
Yep.
Massengale.
Yeah.
Sounds about right?
Mm-hmm.
6'4", 265 pounds. This is the do-it-all lineman for the Raiders. He's got the experience playing at defensive end, but I think that he really shines on the offensive side of the ball. I think he plays offensive tackle when most of his film he was playing at tackle. He's totaled 26 pancake blocks, 4 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and 8 total tackles through 5 games this season.
Big fella.
He's a big fella. He's really fun to watch, too. Displays a lot of physicality and strength up front and just a bully on the line of scrimmage. And he picked up an offer from CSU Pueblo back in July, so he's definitely going to play at the next level.
Go Pack.
Yeah, Go Pack Go. Is that how it is? Go Pack Go?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just Go Pack? I think
I
Go
think it's
Pack
Go
Go
Pack.
is Nevada.
That would make sense.
CSU Pueblo is just Go Pack. I don't know. There's a lot of different sayings. All right, 2 left. Canadian 2025 linebacker Wyatt Davis, the second all-time leading tackler in Canadian history. Did you know that?
That's
It's
impressive.
insane.
And especially, too, that's impressive because Canadian plays a lot of football games. Like, you got to think. They consistently make it to the regional finals, which is a lot. I mean, that's 14 games a year at minimum. You know, like you're getting a lot of mileage out of that.
Right. Of course, he's a senior, totaling over 500 tackles, nearly 100 tackles for a loss, 12 sacks, 19 QB hurries, and 6 interceptions in his high school career. So, yeah, he's up there in Canadian history, that's for sure. Dude's a ball hawk, just knows for the football, a hard-hitting tackler with good speed and agility in that second line of defense there. And he also gets reps in at tight end, too, as well. So not only is he the second leading
I love me some
tackler
small school football.
at Canadian, but he also plays tight end, too.
Why not?
He's got good hands, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good little player. All right, let's round it all out, and you can help me talk about this guy here. Sunray 2025 quarterback Armando Luan, and I think I can confidently speak for the entire DCTF staff and say that he is one of our favorite players in the entire state.
Absolutely.
Armando Luan, as we like to say on Tep and Step, is that he is able to pick out his own lobster.
Correct. At the
So-
dinner,
Yes,
at the
yes.
banquet.
At the banquet, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He also has that dog in him.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
He's absolutely got that dog in him.
He's definitely on track to break the passing record.
So the career passing record in the state of Texas is 14,408, and that is held by Hunter Lyle out of Booker. We've talked about Booker a lot.
Yeah, big Booker show. Needs more Paulette.
I know. Back in 2011 to 2014. Do you know how many career yards that Armando Luan holds now?
I know he's up to 1248 on the season. I'm not sure what the total count
12,385
Okay.
and 149 passing touchdowns. Last season threw for over 4,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a possibility that we could see him break that record.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That is just an insane amount of yards. Like, absolutely. And he also runs the ball too, which is also pretty
Yeah, I was
impressive.
going to say he's got like 12. I think he's got 12 passing touchdowns on the year, but he's got 2 rushing touchdowns. So it's like
Yeah.
that was just the passing touchdown.
Yeah. 82 total touchdowns on the season last year, tying the single season touchdown record. So he's already kind of setting goals.
Yeah.
But I think that if I'm Armando Luan, I've got my sights set on
Oh, yeah.
that. Well, and especially too, I mean, if they're going to make it to AT&T Stadium this year, that's a lot of extra games.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of extra time for him to
Mm-hmm.
get up in that record. Dude's a true gunslinger with a powerful arm and great accuracy, completing over 60% of his passes this season. Also, didn't know if you knew this. I didn't know this until I started researching him. But he also plays on the defensive side of the ball too.
Yeah.
3 interceptions against Canadian.
Yeah.
So he was the one that picked the ball.
Mhm. Can you imagine just lining up, watching this guy absolutely torch
Gash
you
you
on
on
offense,
offense.
and then he says, "No, don't worry, I'll keep that." And then, I mean, they might as well just started
That
playing offense
sucks.
right then and there. The whole team just
Dude.
flips sides of the field.
Dude is so good.
They're going to bed in Canadian Texas right now, like with Armando Luan nightmares. You know?
Oh yeah. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch in the entire state. So I'm rooting for him to pass that to make history there and to pass 14,408 career passing yards. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Before we get to stonks, assuming we're doing stonks as we produce on the fly here, I do want to apologize to the Panhandle Panthers. They are ranked 8th in 2A Division 1, and we accidentally left them off the graphics.
Oh,
so,
that's my bad. Yeah.
No, it's fine. They're off to an incredible 5-0 start. Dane Ashley's squad is looking back and better than ever. Obviously, quarterback Broxton Robinson is back for another year.
He's good.
Incredible player. It seems like Panhandle has finally found a way to have some good defensive play. That's not something that they're another team, much like in the same vein as Canadian, that can just outscore you. But they've done a very, very good job holding opponents to the highest this year so far has only been 21 points allowed in a game, or 27 against Stratford. But again, a very, very good Stratford team that they were able to beat. The big one to circle for District 1, 2A Division 1 is going to be their game on October 25th against Sunray. Panhandle Sunray is box office type stuff, so very excited to watch that one go down. But I did want to go back and just apologize to the Panthers and give them their flowers that they deserve.
Yeah, and this to me, like, this seems like a team that's just always kind of right there.
They just got to get over the hump.
They just got to get over the hump, you know? So, and were they in 2A Division 2 last year? Did they move up to 2A Division 1?
I don't. No, they were in D1 last year.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, no, they made it to area before they got bounced. They went 10-2
They lost to
last year.
Holly.
Yeah, they lost to Holly.
Yeah. Yes, 2A Division 1. Okay. But yeah, always a team that just seems to be right there. But also Holly's not looking as like star power as they have been in the past. So this could be Panhandle's year. We'll see.
Sunray.
Yeah.
Might have something to say about
Sunray's
that.
like, nah, yeah, we'll see about that.
As they don't play, they're definitely going to play once. There's potential they could play twice, and that's when it gets really interesting.
True. All right. Before we get out of here, it's already 12:58, so we'll go quick. But let's get to stonks.
Always try your hand of
Stonks.
All right, let's keep it short and sweet here. Schlee. Stonks up or down?
Follett's winning it all.
That's not what I was going to say. Okay, there you have it. They're
Stonks up.
Stonks up on Follett.
They're taking down Gordon this week.
Will Sunray make it to AT&T Stadium in December and win it?
And win it? Let me okay, give me a second here. Let me
pull
pull
up the bracket.
Yeah, I need a 2A Division 1 bracket. Okay. I do think that they are the favorites to come out of Region 1. I think I agree with what you said earlier about Holly being a little bit down. A team like New Home or Post might have something. Abernathy's not looking too bad. I do think, if you ask me right now, I think they are the favorite coming out of Region 1. When you take a look at Region 2, you've got an Italy, Rio Vista, Itasca.
Even Marlin, too.
Yeah. I think they've got to be your favorite right now looking at the left side of the bracket.
Definitely on the left side, yeah. And then Region 3, like, obviously, I don't think Timpson is...
No, they're
hurt.
They're hurt. When J.J. Garner went down and got hurt, that was a huge blow to Timpson and their defense. Their defense is allowing more than whoever I said earlier that was allowing 33. They're
Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian. Their defense is allowing like 44 points a game. So I'm not super high on that.
Also, Toller moved up to 3A Division 2, so they're not on the bottom side of the barrel.
Honey Grove is looking really, really good. Cupper's looking really good out of Region 3. And then you go down to Region 4, and it's the normal, you know, Refugio. Ganado is looking very dangerous. So I think that Mason is looking very good this year, too. They just made their way back up into the rankings, I believe. But, yeah, I would say coming out of the left side of the bracket, that Sunray has to be your favorite right now. That game against Panhandle will tell us a lot on October 25th. But if I had to put someone... then it will be interesting to see who comes out of Region 4, because I think that's still that's definitely your power nexus down there. And you want to talk about, man, if you saw like a Ganado go up against a Sunray, talk about a stylistic clash too. I mean, of a team that's just going to run and run and run. And you look at the left side of the bracket and it's all air raid teams. Yeah. I mean, they want to get into a high scoring shootout. That would be a fascinating matchup in 2A Division 1.
I think so too. It's also one of those things where it feels like, if not when, you know, because, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, this is, since Armando Alano has been at the helm there at quarterback for Sunray, it just seems like they have improved drastically.
It's the Timpson last year.
It is the Timpson last year.
You knew that you had Terry Bussey and you had one final shot to get over the hump, and they were able to do it. And this feels
now you have the leading passer in the state.
Yep.
You've got great weapons around him. Your defense is playing really well. Yeah. If not when.
Yeah. So. I think Refugio and Ganado are going to have something to say about it if they end up making it to the
that'd be exciting
to the championship game. But that would be I always look forward to 2A Division 1 championship games. That would be one that would really excite me.
Yeah, I think so too. All right,
stocks up
on Sunray and Armando Luan. All right, I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks for sitting through Wichita Falls and Panhandle with us. We really, really appreciate that. I know they're not really close together, but we had to lump them together because we are running out of time, and it's already week 6 of the Texas high school football season. Speaking of Texas football tonight, we are live at 7:30 p.m. every Friday during the high school football season. Join Ashley Pickle, Ishmael Johnson, and Greg Tepper as they give you their high school football knowledge and players to watch and rankings and all that jazz every Friday night. We have a really, really good set of spotlight games, but not only are we going to be diving into spotlight games, we've got dozens and dozens of other games on TexanLive.com. You can watch those on TexanLive.com/subscribe if you want to become a subscriber and watch as many games as you want. All right. Do you have anything else for the people?
Go Panthers. Beat the Longhorns.
Stonks up on Follett.
Yeah, that's my.
You know how we sign off with Go Rutgers on ROF. I think it needs to be Go Follett from here on out.
Go Panthers.
Go Follett. We will see you. Thanks for tuning in to Women Talking Football. We'll see you next Wednesday at noon for more stonks and things like that.
Go Follett.
You threw me off.